Get ready to rock out with your talk out. It's the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. Hey, guys, get your cats out and whack your smack out. It's time for the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus that did not come out as I had rehearsed it in my mind.
Apparently.
Are you sure?
Get your cats out.
No, the Lord, he did not bless me tonight.
What kind of kitty are you talking about?
Because it is erection night.
Oh, thank you. Happy erection, everybody.
Have a happy erection.
Oh, thank you.
We're having a giant erection here in the United States.
Yay. It's a big one.
So the question is, are we going to... Well, see, I was thinking about this is kind of blowing my mind, is that, like, we don't know who the president is yet. It's Tuesday, right?
Right.
And by the time this goes up on Rock Rage, if you guys listening to it on Sunday morning, I don't know, you let me know. Do you still know who the president is? Because last time they couldn't settle on it for a long time.
Nobody say anything because I'm taping the election. I'm going to watch it later, so nobody say anything. Don't spoil it. All right.
So... Oh my God!
Be surprised.
So it's been a very eventful filled day here.
Mm-hmm.
It is only about 9:00, so nothing has really concrete. Just people with their normal speculations of this and that. So, but we shall see because. By the way, and I don't know if Mr. Pittsburgh and Ms. Lily know this.
Yes.
But I found this out like a day or two ago. It's also Guy Fawkes Day.
I did know that.
It is Guy Fawkes Day.
I did know that.
I love guys who are foxes. They're so
for those of you who don't know, Guy Fawkes was basically a British terrorist who tried to blow up Parliament.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
I only know that
And he
because
has
I
a
get
day?
weird history in my emails every day.
Wow.
That was on today.
Right. And so... I guess he's seen as a kind of like, even though I think they executed him, I think that he's seen as a kind of, sort of standing up for like sticking it to the man.
Yeah, it's totally his shtick.
Wow.
Which is kind of more of an American kind of thing, but we would never in America have any kind of, what's his name? Who's the guy? The Oklahoma City. What was his name?
Oh,
David Koresh Day. We would never have David Koresh Day.
He was in Oklahoma. He was Texas.
Well, whatever that is, that compound.
But who? Now, yeah.
That was Timothy McVeigh.
Yeah. But Timothy McVeigh was Oakland.
Yeah,
Oklahoma.
I was thinking of David Koresh, Timothy McVeigh,
all
the whole
those guys.
thing. Yeah. We
All
would
those-
never.
Maybe we should start that.
Yeah.
The David Koresh Day.
We should.
All drive around in Camaros and play heavy metal music. Yeah. We're going to start a movement.
I think that became something after there was a giant political shakeup in England. I don't think it was just, I don't think the next day people
like them. Yeah.
I don't think the next day everybody said, let's start Guy Fawkes Day.
Yeah. Interesting. You know what? Yeah, today's
By the
Guy
way, Mr. Pittsburgh,
Yes.
Pittsburgh Kevin is here, and Lily V6.
Yes. Hello, everybody.
What's up?
Yeah.
So this is Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. Go to LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com. Go to RockRageRadio.com. You go to LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com. There's a lot of cool stuff there. I kind of always gloss over that, but check that out because there's a lot kind of like great information, back podcasts, interviews, stuff like that, and as well as our like YouTube archive and all kind of fun stuff is there. So go check that out at LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com. RockRageRadio.com is where you hear great music programming 24/7. This is like a great rock and it's all centered around rock, but there's a lot of comedy stuff kind of like we do, and there's a lot of just people just playing new music and bands that maybe you never heard of. Lily V6 has her own show on there where she interviews people and plays new rock and everything that people don't know about. So it's very it's really cool, and it's 24/7. It's 100% free.
Nice.
So no matter what, no matter what, if Trump uses tariffs to do what he's going to do, or Kamala cuts taxes, either way, you'll be able to afford it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yay.
That's the nice thing.
And that's the most important thing.
That's the most important thing. Yes,
that's right in my budget too. Free.
And don't forget to check out musicfromthe412.com to get this sort of homegrown feel of what's going on here in Pittsburgh. And it is, look, even if you don't live in the Pittsburgh area, it's great music and you're going to love it. Just remember, all your favorite bands were some local band at some time somewhere.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly.
Anyways, we do have the gang in the house again this week. We have Lily and we have Mr. Pittsburgh Kevin. Lily, what's happening in your world? We haven't talked to you since the last time we talked to you, which was last week.
Yes. Weird. I actually haven't been doing a whole lot. I did watch Grinch Night. Have you seen that?
No.
It's called Halloween is Grinch Night. It was made after the How the Grinch Stole Christmas, but it's a prequel to How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Interesting.
Won an Emmy. Didn't know. I have never even heard of it until this year. People started posting about it. And
what is it? Is it like a live musical?
It's a cartoon.
It's like a cartoon.
It's like a half-an-hour cartoon about how Halloween is Grinch Night. Like the Who's are down in Whoville. Like the air changes and the winds change and all these noises happen, and that summons the Grinch to come and wreak havoc on the Who's.
Is this new?
It's not. It's from 1977.
Wow.
I know.
I've never heard of it.
I know. It's not as good as How the Grinch Stole Christmas, but it is cute. He comes down to wreak havoc, and this one little Who tries to go to the bathroom. He has to go to an outhouse, but it's so windy and he gets lost somehow. And then he ends up talking the Grinch out of wreaking havoc, or he stalls for time because the winds die down, and then whatever. But it's cute.
Sounds like it might have been the inspiration for the Nightmare Before Christmas.
Maybe something, but it's fun.
Grinch
Give it. I think it's streaming right now. Still, it was definitely during the Halloween season. I ended up buying it for $4 on eBay just to have it in my collection of stuff.
There you go.
But yeah, definitely check it out. I just watched Forrest Gump again for the millionth time.
Oh boy.
Soundtrack's great on that. Obviously, it was a 2-disc soundtrack and tons of awesome music on there.
What is your favorite musical moment in Forrest Gump?
This is going to sound kind of weird, but I really like...
Go ahead. I'm wondering if we're going to say the same thing.
It's when she's getting ready to dive off of the building.
That's fucking awesome. Freebird.
Yes.
That's fucking bad.
It's such an epic.
There's a lot of stuff going on there because it's once you fly high, Freebird, and the wind's she's gonna, it's like you could escape your troubles this way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Decides to not.
Yeah.
So
you know what I mean?
Awesome.
That's such a great scene.
Forrest, I'm sick. So that means I'll fuck you now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna die. So
marry me so you can take care of my
I'm willing
kid.
to live and be married to a retard.
What? Wow. Oh, we can say that. Our lawyer.
We're not calling anybody. We're not calling a real person
No.
a retard. We're calling Forrest Gump a retard.
Yeah, he's not real.
Wow.
Also
been
You
rewatching.
never go full retard.
Exactly.
Oh my God. This is my life now.
You're welcome.
Also rewatching all of the Roseanne series. I don't know if you guys remember that show at all.
Of course.
I'm on season 9. This is kind of where it gets stupid.
Wow.
So I'm kind of not paying attention to it too much because it's
just background
It kind
noise.
of goes off the rails in season 9. So whatever. But I'll finish it out. And upcoming shows are Iron Maiden, Nelson, and
That's
Wasp all this month, and possibly Steelheart. I haven't decided yet.
Oh,
We'll see.
Steelheart.
Yeah.
nice.
So that's what I have going
That's nice.
for a little while.
Yeah, that's funny. That is my favorite scene in Forrest Gump as well.
Yeah, that
I
is
think
good.
it's a lot of people's favorites, but it's just so weird because it's oh, she's gonna kill herself. So
It's like kind of the one of the more super serious, dark, very
Parts
dark
of that
kind of
movie,
moment.
yeah.
You know, that's not a lot of the other even when he's in Vietnam and those guys are getting shot, and he's running out saving. There's always a sort of slight
little
comedic,
lighter.
element to
Yeah.
things that doesn't have any of
That
that.
no.
You know,
No.
that's intense.
I saw an interview with her recently, and somebody said, a lot of people are saying that Jenny was the villain of the movie, and she kind of sat there for a second. She goes, "Well, let's look at it." And she named all the shitty things that Jenny did. She goes, "Yeah.
She's terrible to him.
I know.
She gets a pass because her and her dad
She
were
was
having
abused.
something going on.
So of course her life went down a spiral.
Yeah.
Incest is best. Put daddy to the test.
Whoa,
boy.
whoa,
Oh,
sir.
boy.
That was horrible.
I was not suggesting. I meant your metaphoric daddy.
Oh, okay.
The daddy, as in the great daddiness that we all, embody and envelop, and in an envelope.
I'm voting for you. Right there, you sold me. How you got out of
Mr.
that?
Pittsburgh, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
I voted for myself.
Yeah.
Lily for president.
Over and over and over again, I did. Oh, man. Phew.
Yeah. You went down to the thing here?
Of course.
What time did you go?
I was there at 7:30.
We must have passed each other. I was left at 7:30.
Oh, okay.
I got in there right. I must have walked right by you.
You probably did.
Yeah.
I was buried in my phone in the line.
I ran into a girl from the church I went to 35 years ago here in Canada.
You're old.
She was working the polls. She'd run for office a couple times, or at least
Okay.
once. Yeah. So we caught up for a minute.
Cool.
Whew, what a day. Mr. Pittsburgh had a bit of an adventure, didn't you, Mr. Pittsburgh?
Oh, no.
Yes.
Mr. Pittsburgh went for a ride.
So this morning, everybody,
Oh, here we go.
Oh, my gosh.
who I thought was my friend Lou, called me. He said, "Hey, you want to go for a ride?" And I said, "I love rides." And so I got in the car, and we took a nice drive. Then he took me into this building. There's people waiting for me. and then he took me back into a room. I've got actual tears, you notice? That's pretty good.
You're hurting
back
yourself.
into a room, and they made me take my clothes off.
Oh, no.
Oh. And you're complaining.
Then he took me into another room,
Why are you complaining?
and then they stuck something up my butt.
That sounds like my Friday night.
And then,
But all right.
for the win. And then afterwards, we went and got something to eat. Yeah, so
That's very...
that was my morning. Most people call that a colonoscopy.
Yeah.
I call it betrayal from my friend Lou.
Call it Oscar worthy.
Well, I was thinking of that scene in that episode of Family Guy where he thinks Dr. Hartman raped him.
Because he's doing a prostate
What the
exam.
fuck? That show, man, they were like, you're not going there. Oh, they went there.
They went there.
I
Now they're going farther.
I have to give him credit. Like, and like South Park kind of resented them a little bit. They had. Did you ever see any of the crossovers with South Park and The Simpsons?
Yes.
I have
Yeah,
not.
they're weird. I don't know what I think about that. It's
Yeah.
weird. But there's a South Park crossover with no, it's Family Guy and The Simpsons, right?
Yeah, Family Guy and The Simpsons, yeah.
Not
Yeah.
a South Park crossover.
There was the one where they were like just in the last scene. The Simpsons were like in the last scene. That's it. And that was funny.
Every once in a while, they'll have Homer run across the screen.
Right.
Or they'll swap them all out for Simpsons.
Yes.
Make them look like Simpsons.
I think that shows that you can get along. You may be different, but you can get along. So,
It's like when the Jetsons met the Flintstones.
Oh my gosh!
Did you? Oh, I saw a parody of the intro to the Jetsons on Family Guy, and it looks exactly like we remember. It's all perfect, except at the very end when he hands her the $20 money and she takes his wallet, he goes, "Oh no, you don't, you bitch!" Grabs her, and like, she starts crying. Fucking great.
Wow.
He totally rips her a new one. You're like, and like that, So one of those things I think that a lot of people, as kids, went like, really? That's how it is?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't know,
See?
And so it's good
Now you know.
to see Jane get what for,
The more you know. Exactly.
His boy Elroy, his daughter Judy, Jane, his wife.
See?
Wow.
Yeah. Professional. So should we go into my
Oh yeah, let's talk.
bad. So folks
Oh yeah.
So yeah, folks, I have been scouring. I've been looking in the internet, and so you don't have to, and finding things that are so bad they're good. And today's offering is what was it? Bevan who?
Bevan Bob.
Bevan Bob. Bevan Bob liked to sing karaoke, and I'm going to share this gem with you. It's Bevan Bob doing Down with the Sickness.
Oh, that's already.
Yeah. Here we go.
Wow!
Yes. Do it.
Wow!
There we go. Yeah,
I'm
Bev.
done. I've had enough.
Come on, Bev.
Drowning deep in my sea of
Loaded.
broken your
Will you give it to me?
seas. What's left of my human soul? I just
Give in to the hatred, yes.
Will you give it to me? Look at my own reflection. When suddenly it changes.
Violently it changes. Oh no.
There's no turning back.
No shit.
You're welcome.
Changes.
Oh no, the world is a scary place.
Sure is.
now.
It's serious though.
Yeah, they do all kind of
Okay.
They have a whole
karaoke.
YouTube channel with like 9,000 videos.
Yes, and each one is better
Get
than
up,
the rest.
come on down with the sickness.
No.
Yeah.
Come on, get down with the sickness.
Get up
Well,
and
why
come
go
down
see
with the
Disturbed when you
sickness.
can watch
So
this?
open up
Yeah,
your
exactly,
hand
right?
And let it flow into me.
Wow. That's brilliant.
Bevin Bob.
You did a good one.
Nice job here, Bevin Bob.
Mr. Pittsburgh, I got to hand it to
Oh.
you. Mr. Pittsburgh scours the internet for these.
Scours, that's the word I was looking for earlier.
Scours.
But my brain's been scrambled ever since I had that tube put up my butt.
Your butt's been scrambled.
I know. I feel like Kermit.
Scrambled my poop hole.
My poop hole.
Oh, that's
Lovely.
crazy.
There you
Mr.
go.
Pittsburgh. So, and anything? Oh, do you want to talk about?
Yeah, we'll talk about what
Mr.
we
Pittsburgh
did.
hung out a little bit this weekend,
Yes.
and we watched a classic. Did we
Yeah,
not?
we did. A classic
what did
from
we watch?
1977. Oh, I don't know why I'm barking like a wolf. I remember seeing this film in 1977 with my dad, so it has like a little bit of sentimental value, and that film would be Capricorn 1.
1977 thriller
Yes.
film in which a reporter discovers that a supposed Mars landing by a crew missioned to the planet has been faked via a conspiracy involving the government and under duress the crew themselves. It was written and directed by Peter Hyams and produced by Lou Raid's ITC Entertainment. Stars Elliot Gould as the reporter, James Brolin, Sam Waterston, and O.J. Simpson.
Yes.
That O.J.
That
Simpson.
O.J. Simpson.
Hal Holbrook is in it as well. Plays a NASA senior official. And music by Jerry Goldsmith, the great Jerry Goldsmith.
Yeah.
This was, let's see, when it was released in the United States on May 5th, 1978.
Oh, okay. So I saw it in 78.
Yeah.
Maybe I saw it in 77 because I was special.
Maybe.
I was very
It was
special.
released in Japan at the very end of the year. in
Oh, I took a
77.
trip to Japan to see it.
Yes.
Maybe not. Maybe not. So what did you think? Do you think it held up?
I thought it was slow
Yeah.
in places. How long is it, real quick? Let me-
7 hours and
it's
52
not that
minutes.
long. It's not.
No,
He's lying.
it's not.
It's 123 minutes.
All right, so a little
They
over.
could have made this like an hour and 45,
Yeah.
and it would have done a lot for the pacing. There were scenes that just went on way too long.
Yeah. Well, they didn't know back in 77.
Well, and people's patience were different.
Well,
too,
they had nothing else to do. It's
Yeah.
not like they had to go home and check their Facebook or something. They're like, oh, we'll sit in this theater for 2 hours.
Probably the two highlights of the movie for me
Yes.
were the sort of almost cameo, not quite cameo, but like special guest star appearances.
Yes.
By Telly Savalas
Right?
and Karen Black.
Sure.
They're both in it. They both play very memorable parts. Elliot Gould and Karen Black's banter is very funny.
Yeah,
They have this
yeah.
great. They have this very humorous, thing, and there's this joke between them about him wanting to jump her.
Right.
And it's done. They had really good on-screen chemistry.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That was very good. And Telly Savalas plays this obnoxious
Wow.
plane driver.
Plane driver.
Pilot. Plane driver.
I like
Woo
it.
woo!
From
I'm a
now on,
plane
just
driver.
plane
He's
driver.
a plane driver.
He's a
guy.
plane conductor.
I can't stand you guys.
Pilot.
Yeah. Oh, that too. Yeah. Nice.
That's a good scene too. That's what's wildly entertaining. It seems a little out of left field and a little caricature-ish or like
Right.
over the top or
Yeah.
like it's a little it feels a little jarring. Considering what's happening in the movie, but maybe they felt like they needed to lighten it up in that place. But anyways, if you've never seen it, it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's basically, how people say we faked the moon landing. Well, they kind of told you like
Right.
how that might happen, but they did it with a Mars thing that never really wasn't part of history or anything like that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm glad we got to see it. Made me happy.
Did it make you happy?
It made me
Did it
happy
make you-
down in the cockles of my heart.
Did it make you happy in your poop hole, though?
No, that was done
very
earlier
sad right now,
today.
isn't
That was earlier today.
Yeah. Oh.
Just real quick. Let's talk real. Just say real quick. Okay.
Yes,
The
just
movies
saying.
that Peter Hyams did that you might know. The Hunter, Outland. Did you ever see Outland with
Yeah.
James Bond?
Yeah.
What's his name? Sean Connery.
Sean Connery.
Yeah. So
Don't make
the
me
Star
slap you.
Chamber.
Oh, there's
You
a
ever
one.
see that?
Yeah,
That's Hal
yeah.
Holbrook's in that. Did you ever see that Star Chamber? That's good.
That's been a while
It's
since
good,
I've
like
seen that
drama.
one.
Like
Yeah.
it's really good. It's dark.
Oh, Telephone. He did Telephone.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I this is a maybe guilty pleasure for me. 2010, the
yes,
year we made
sure,
contact.
sure.
Running Scared. I saw that.
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
The Presidio. I thought
Oh,
was
dude,
pretty
I have
good.
that. I just watched that not too long ago. Yes,
Okay, now we're
yes.
getting into the Time Cop and Sudden Death.
Sudden Death, filmed here in Pittsburgh. There's the Civic Arena. on the,
This is a
thing.
movie that Keith hates and I enjoy. The Relic.
Oh yes, yes.
Oh, I just watched End of Days. What a terrible movie.
Oh,
That sucked.
but the Schwarzenegger's in it.
The Schwarzenegger.
It should be
The
good.
Schwarzenegger.
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 He's a nihilist.
The Musketeer, which I don't know. Sound of Thunder, which is it's bad. It has bad CGI.
Okay.
But yeah,
very
So
cool.
yeah, so he's
Apparently,
made,
this is not my guy. I have not seen any of those.
No. Well, you're young. These are all
Still.
old films.
You're young, dumb, and
Watch old films.
No,
You're young,
no,
dumb, and
stop.
full of cum.
Stop it right. Jeez, I mean, I tried to stop him. Tried to stop him.
old, bold, and full of mold.
Yuck.
That's the kind of ladies I like.
I like them old and moldy. Make them old and moldy, mama.
Come here, my little blue cheese.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yikes.
I want the film from 1976. So I watched. This was my Halloween movie. I watched
Okay.
Burnt Offerings.
Ah.
1976 supernatural horror film directed by Dan Curtis, starring Karen Black, the amazing Karen Black,
Oh.
Oliver Reed, Betty Davis, Lee H. Montgomery, Eileen Eckert, and Burgess Meredith, and Anthony James. 70 based on the 73 novel of the same name by Robert Marasco. Plot follows a family which begins to sort of fall apart under the supernatural forces at this state house that they rent for the summer. It's one of these, like, Eileen Eckhart and Burgess Meredith's characters, like, try to, like, really
Meredith,
sell these
yeah.
people, and they want them to take this home for the summer. And it is very nice. It's a little bit beat up, but it's very fancy schmancy out in the, I don't know, upstate New York or something like that. And they're like, well, there's only one thing. And because Oliver Reed's like, hey, what's the catch? And he goes, well, she's like, I wouldn't call it a catch, but it's our dear mother.
Oh.
So she's 85, could pass for 60.
Oh,
You just
nice.
love her.
Yeah.
And she lives in the attic,
Oh, boy.
and she doesn't want to ever be disturbed.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems very weird, but they're like, we're getting this whole place for the whole summer for $900. Like,
Okay.
fuck, we
Yeah.
got to do it. And it has a pool and this whole thing. So they decide to take these people up on this deal, and shenanigans ensues for the next 2 hours. These movies from the 70s and stuff like that, people's attention spans were a little different. So this would be, most people would find this slow, but I think it's really well done. And the two actors, the main actors there, Karen Black and Betty Davis too. She's
wow.
outstanding in it. Are all really, really good. They really keep you interested in what's going on, even though it's this kind of crazy story. So if you've never seen it, if you like that sort of vibe, that 70s horror vibe, check that out. And I might as well, since I was going to do movies last, but we're on
there.
to movies. Let's finish this up with a movie that I highly, highly, highly recommend.
Oh.
It is 2020's Bloody Hell.
Bloody
Have you seen this,
hell.
Lily?
I have not seen this.
It's a 2020 comedy horror film directed by Alistair Grierson.
There we go.
It'll come out sooner or later.
I know.
It all comes out in a wash.
That's what she said. What?
It all comes out the watch.
It tells the story of Rex Cohen, a former U.S. soldier with a mysterious past who flees from his homeland to escape his own personal hell to unknowingly experiencing something even more sinister and hellish. The film stars Ben O'Toole, Carolyn Craig, and Matthew Sutherland. This is that you have. It's fucking 93 minutes of like you're breathless. Mm-hmm. You're like you're on. It's the movie never slows down. It's very funny. The main character, this Ben O'Toole who plays Rex Cohen, he's fucking spot on. He's fucking spot on. Like I think that they could do. Like he could become like a new breed of like action kind of hero kind of guys because he's like super charming. Yeah, and he kicks ass all over the goddamn place. And there's nothing in it. Like there's nothing. Oh, it's like praise the Lord. There's no message.
Oh, it's
pure
entertainment.
Fucking glorious, good entertainment. And there's guesses and stuff like, what's really going on here? I don't, you know what I mean? So it's like it's like not completely one dimensional. And this character really goes through like he's a really dynamic character. He really kind of grows he has a journey throughout this whole thing. It's really super fun to watch. I promise you, if you like, unless you're one of those people that like you're totally square and you can't like see anything violent or anything like that, because it's gory in places. It's definitely gory.
Well, that's what we like around here.
It's definitely gory and violent in places, but that's not one of those gory and yucky just for the sake of being. It's super fun.
Gore with purpose.
Yes.
I just want to say before we move on too much further to shout out to Quincy Jones.
Yes.
Passed away this week on the 3rd. Record producer, songwriter, composer. Had many accolades, Grammy Awards, Primetime, Emmy Awards, Tony Awards, Academy Awards, Golden Globe Awards. You know, the thing that he's most known for is Thriller. Right. But he did 3 records with Michael Jackson, Off the Wall, Thriller, and Bad. It's interesting. I saw an interview with him many years ago, and he was talking. They were talking. He was like, "Well, what was like the worst experience you ever had in the business?" And he said he did the music for The Wiz.
Ooh.
Oh.
And he says it was a total nightmare. He's totally hated. He says, however, if I had not done that, I never would have met Michael Jackson.
Truth. So there's that.
That is what started that. He's like, he says it was like the most screwed up thing I ever did, but it ended up turning into being the biggest thing that I ever got involved with. So he's so God rest his soul. Like just worked with so many great artists. I mean, all you have to say is Michael Jackson, and that's enough. But like tons of a lot of soundtrack work and just tons of. And a dynamite musician, and in his own right. So cool. Quincy Jones, rest in peace.
Yes.
Speaking of movies, real quick, we'll dive back because I had this in my notes. Lily, are you familiar with the movie from the 70s with Peter Fonda called Dirty Larry and Crazy Mary?
I've heard it. I have not seen it. I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's a kind of an exploitation film. There's no big
cars and
fast cars and Susan. What was her name?
I don't know.
Susan George.
Susan George,
like
hot.
takes her clothes off, you know.
Well, there you go.
And I mean, that's what it's all there, and it's cars and sex, you know.
Yeah.
And there's some violent. Oh, you know who's in it? Roddy McDowell is in it. He has a very small.
I love
That's
him.
right. He was the grocery store.
Yeah.
Grocery store owner. Yeah.
They want to. They know that they can build this ultimate race car, and the Peter Fonda character is a really good driver. So they're pretty sure that they can do this thing, but they don't have any money. So they decide this is their financing plan. They're going to rob a grocery store.
Brilliant.
I mean, why not?
So, there's some great car work in it. It's super fun. I watched it again a few years ago, and like it's okay. But the only reason there's a spooky coincidence having to do with this movie. Vic Morrow is in it. He plays one of the heavies that are chasing
like
him.
that,
And there's a scene where he has to be in a helicopter, and he wouldn't do the helicopter scene unless they insured him for $1 million. And they said, oh, okay. They're like, well, what's the big deal? And he said, I've had a lifelong premonition that I was going to die in a helicopter accident.
Oh.
But 8-10 years later, that's exactly what happened to him on the set of The Twilight Zone.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's a chilling
That's
kind
weird.
of coincidence, right?
Yeah.
I don't like
It's a little something you can, like, put in your Halloween bag, okay? We'll extend the Halloween season.
It's still Halloween.
Primus's drummer quits, just sent him an email, said, I'm done.
Yeah.
Send him an email.
Yeah,
He
I'm
just
done.
quit.
Sorry, guys.
I saw the RockFeed has a good video on it. You can watch it. I'm not going to get into too much detail, but apparently he did follow up for a while. He wasn't saying anything, but then he sort of followed up and said things that like just make human sense. He's like, I've been in this band since I was 26. I'm 60,
Time to maybe.
and
Rest.
he's
Yeah,
like, he says everything hurts.
Yes.
I'm getting like weird headaches, and he's had a heart attack already.
Oh, wow.
And he's like, he says, I'm terribly lonely on the road. I just think about my family all the time. And I get that sometimes too, because I think it would be tough. Wouldn't it be really hard? Because you're spent, those guys are really relying on you to do this tour and do all this stuff. You know what I mean? They're like, and like you're gonna leave. I mean, that'd be really tough, man. Like it would be tempting to just send a text, I
And then
quit.
ghost.
Because it's like that's gonna be really hard. And I can imagine, they worked with this man. Like he had left the band a couple times, went for illness because he did have a heart attack and stuff like that. But he was always coming back. I think Danny Carey is gonna fill in with them for a little while. Danny Carey from Tool, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think he's going to fill in with them for a little while, and they're going to bring in some people from Frog Brigade. They're going to kind of do a little like expanded Primus for a couple of shows and do some fun stuff. But just check out the story for yourself. I think you'll find it interesting. So David Lee Roth, they've been trying to get for years, and what is taking so long, right? To do a sort of Eddie Van Halen tribute shows, right? Well, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like only the biggest rock guitarist after Hendrix. And we're not doing any what is going on?
Yeah, that's kind of.
And so, Alex Van Halen just published a book, and where he says that David Lee Roth killed it because he refused to play because they wanted to do a video tribute to Eddie, like middle of the show,
Right.
And all the things. I guess the Pantera thing does that.
Yeah.
A lot of these things do that. They'll play like a video, and it takes people down. It's emotional,
Sure.
and
Right.
cathartic
Well,
for the
it's a tribute. That's
fans
what it
and all
is.
that. Or David Lee Roth refused to perform if they do that.
Wow. It's not your band.
Yeah.
Everybody was doing it.
Arrogant.
Sammy Hagar, Wolfgang, everybody was doing it. They were all like,
But
of
he
course.
doesn't want to do it.
Of course we're doing it. Of course they all were like fucking
They're
kidding.
ready to go.
Eddie Van fucking Halen, and David Roth, no.
He's a big baby.
Well,
He
that
is.
too, and I heard that the stuff he said on the Joe Rogan podcast wasn't true. And stuff he said he said stuff to Howard Stern and everything that was not
Of
true.
course. He's
but
David Lee
Eddie
Roth.
was like, he wasn't going to go on those shows and just shout back. He wasn't really going to do that.
that wasn't his
Right.
style.
He wasn't going to do that. He wanted to play his guitar and drink. That's all he wanted to do.
Partake.
Yeah. Would this surprise any of you guys?
What?
That Taylor Swift has been caught miming.
Oh, shocker.
Yeah, it doesn't shock me.
What?
She's still hot as fuck. I saw a little short video of her walking into the some sporting event, and I was like, my God, what a
she's
smoking
okay.
hot
She's
bride.
okay.
Oh no, dude, man,
She's all right.
She had a different face.
she had a great walk.
She looks like a
She's wearing
rat.
these awesome boots. Oh fuck,
There it is. There it is.
There it is. It's all
I
about
was
the
losing
boots.
my goddamn mind.
You're like, look at him.
I was sweating.
Them
I'm an
boots
old
is-
man. I can't handle that, Taylor.
boots
Okay,
is made for walking.
you can't handle the vagina.
Wow.
Wow.
So let me ask you guys before we get
Yes.
into, because we're going to be talking about bands who questionable live shows. Speaking of Van Halen, we're going to talk about that in a minute. But so let me ask you guys: if somebody said to you
Yes.
that most musicians begin their creativity begins to diminish at 30,
Yeah.
like what would you say about that?
Yeah, I think there's. There's reason to support that. Sure. Yeah.
I don't know what to say about that.
Such as?
A lot of the band, a lot of the artists and things, as time went on, well, I call it the soundtrack curse. They start doing soundtracks like Bryan Adams, Elton John, and then all of a sudden and it's usually after they're 30. And really, anybody over 30 that has been a classic rock band or rock artist, have they really had anything really substantial after 30? I mean, even like the Beatles. And granted, they had success
So their
after
best
the
stuff,
Beatles.
you think, is the Beatles?
Is the
not
Beatles.
theirs? Okay.
Yeah. Because they were in their, from teens up to late 20s. Yeah.
And Rick Beato would agree with you.
It's because Rick and I are friends.
However, one of my favorite commentators on music, all stuff music, is this British curmudgeon named Andy Edwards, and he's a curmudgeon. He's he's a contrarian kind of person. You know what I mean?
Contrarian.
He's kind of one of these kind of guys. He's smart. He's smart and he's really witty, very funny. His videos are really funny. He just goes off in these rants and he's funny. But he reacted to Rick Beato's assertion about this.
All right.
And so he brought in some stuff, and so I was with Rick. Now, Rick's video, to be fair, I put the link to the whole video in there. He does talk about what older musicians contribute and why it's also super important. It's a different kind of thing, but we're going to get to that in a minute. But one of the things you have to take into account with artists, and pop artists, we have youth culture. That the younger you are, the more likely it is your music is going to get promoted.
Right.
Okay, the Beatles, had they started making music in their 30s, and they say they were really good musicians, and they wrote Sgt. Pepper and everything, but now they're guys who are pushing 40. Do you think, you think it would have had the same kind of? You think they would have gotten like the money and the people behind? You think Brian Epstein would have been dressing them in leather jackets and or doing whatever?
Tight trousers.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Tight trousers. Doing, you know what I mean. So there's like a youth culture that sort of we prop up and worship people that are younger.
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
Number one. Number two, this is a completely different era. I mean, this is the world was so much different. You had the World War II generation. They came home and they started having kids, and the kids were John Lennon and Paul McCartney, and you know what I mean? And so these kids grew up. But he was the first kids to kind of grow up like kind of middle class. You know what I mean? Listening, and they're the first kids to hear rock and roll.
Right.
So, so you bring all that in. And so by the time they're in their 20s, they've had 20 years, with seeing their parents and seeing how square they are. Yeah. And they got to listen to they got to hear poetry by people like Jack Kerouac. And, they read these like great books and everything that were kind of liberal and kind of like, questioning things. And so they're bringing all that into what they're doing. So now you start the kind of the culture. And then, of course, there's some societal things that happen. There's the race thing that happens in America, the civil rights movement, and then there's Vietnam. So you throw all that into the mix. You know what I mean? It's like, is it that how much of it is because they were 20? Was the actual creativity part of it?
Point.
Not the fame and success, because you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that, and surrounding yourself by other really talented people like George fucking Martin. You know what I mean? Like, they were surrounded themselves with really good people. So I'm not taking anything away from the Beatles. I think their music is absolutely amazing. They're my second favorite band of all time. But you want to take that, and that went on for kind of a while, right? We had, in the era of the record labels where, a band would come in and they would say they're pretty good. We're going to put out an album, and oh wow, they got to number 43. They didn't quite cut the top 40, but it's okay. We're going to do another album, and now they'll do a little bigger tour. We're going to put them on with this band now who's big. And then the next album gets to like number 38 on the or 35 on the charts. You know what I mean? And they would work a band up.
Right.
We don't have that. That's all gone.
Yeah, that's
okay. So even through that era, you still kind of had the same thing, and you had the kids now they weren't turned on by Elvis as much as they were turned on by the Beatles, and so they carried that whole thing. So and you've got an industry that's supporting younger people. Questioning a little bit and coming up with some new ideas and everything like that. This is a perfect formula. So they kept on propping it. How many artists were people that tried to break in, but they were 30?
Right.
Yeah.
And they couldn't even, and maybe they wrote really good fucking songs.
Cyndi Lauper.
You know what I mean? Different people like that.
She made it.
So there's a lot of, so the idea, so it's not science. This is a observation that Rick Beato made.
Yeah.
About
not written
this.
in stone.
It's not exactly science. There's could be other factors involved. I highly recommend that you listen to their talk. Neither one's super long, because it's great to have. And I think it's great to kind of like dig into. It's a good question to ask. Because there does seem to be but in recent years we don't really have classic music anymore. I hate to say it. I hate to sound like old man, but I just can't think. I just don't really think we're going to be having. Just the fact that so many young people want to hear the music from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. That's the music they're really concentrating on,
right?
More than anything made in this
The newer
century.
stuff, yeah.
I think says a lot that even like younger people are like recognizing. That. I mean, look at all the guitar channels with young people like learning Led Zeppelin and stuff like that. Metallica,
right.
Van Halen. That's. I just don't see. I just think it's becoming fewer and like the last people that we had that played guitar that got famous were like John Mayer.
Right.
He was a pop star.
Yeah.
And he played
Yep.
guitar,
Yep.
Right, Jack White kind of,
Sure.
there's like just a couple of people that, that used to be that everybody played guitar coming up, right?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, Keith Richards was as big as rock star as Mick Jagger. I think that factors into it.
Yeah.
Who are your favorite over 30 rock stars, Lily?
Over 30 now?
Over 30 anytime.
All of them? I don't even know.
Do you know of any-
all of Aerosmith. So there's that, and they're pretty old. They're 70.
So what inspired to this topic of these bands that before we get, has anybody gone to see a band that they really loved and saw them live and were like, oh, that didn't really work?
Me.
What did you say? What's your experience, Lily?
It's actually been happening more recently because it's the older bands and they keep continuing to do things. And I'm not gonna. One of them is actually several of them are on my list. It's not. They don't sound the same, or they're not singing at all or performing at all, or it's just, or they have hissy fits on the stage, that sort of thing. It's happened almost every time recently, just because I think they're older and they're just don't. It's the motions and not the drive anymore. So.
Yep.
No, give me an example. Name one.
Okay.
Name one that you went to see. Is there one that you went? Let me say. Let's make it a little more challenging.
Okay.
Because you go to a lot of shows.
Yes.
Let's go to more back in the day. A show that like the band shouldn't have fucked up. They weren't old. They don't have the old excuse. Do you have anybody like that where you went to see them and you were like, you guys like kind of fucked up?
No, but if you want me to give you a name, I'm going to talk about the last stadium tour with Motley Crue.
Okay.
Which I already said 100 times they should have stopped in 2015 when that was actually their final tour, but they I actually, because they're one of my top 5 favorite bands in the whole world. I left halfway into their set. I left and went to the bar where there were like 22-year-olds to listen to country music because they were so terrible.
Oh, man.
It just sounded awful. And I'm talking all around. It wasn't just Vince Neil. It was the whole band. It sounded terrible. I was bored with it. I had to leave. It's just...
But at least you didn't pay $35,000
No.
to see Taylor Swift and have her sing along to her,
Right.
mime along to her record.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
She's
pay any amount of money.
Yeah. So that would suck. What
Yeah.
about you, Mr. Pittsburgh?
The only one I can think of, and this is many, many, many years ago, because I've heard good things about them lately, is I saw Def Leppard, and I don't know if it was... No, it wasn't the sound, because there were certain notes that Joe could not hit, and he was probably just having an off night. Mm-hmm. The rest of the band sounded really good. They sounded pretty tight, but it was Peterson? What's the one on the hill in Oakland?
Peterson Event Center.
That's Peterson.
Yeah.
And it's when Peterson first opened, so it shows you how long ago it was. And I think they were still trying to figure out the sound in the Peterson because it was one of the first bands.
That's not my favorite venue.
Yeah, but that's the only one. I'm like, the people I was with, I'm like, Joe,
this is terrible.
Is he not hitting the notes or whatever? That's the only one. But I've seen footage of them performing now. You've seen them.
Yeah, and they actually they sounded great the last couple of times.
So I'm going to say it was maybe just an off night for the band, or maybe but that's the only one I can think of. Usually the bands I see, and I ask a lot when I go there because I want the band to sound like they do on the album.
Right.
And geez, I even saw Van Halen. I saw Van Halen. Who was with him? It was Sammy. I saw Van Halen. Oh, and I saw him twice, and both times they sounded good because I know we talked about Van Halen. But yeah, that's the only one I could ever remember being somewhat disappointed. Was Def Leppard way back in the day.
I mean, like I've heard, like Ozzy is like can be very hit or miss.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about Guns N' Roses, but the band that and I ran across. This is what inspired this podcast. I ran across this YouTube channel, AudioMover, and he reviews an article, a newspaper article from 1978, a review of a Van Halen show.
78. Jeez. Okay.
So this is like the second album tour. They were touring on Van Halen too, and the reviewer was very scathing.
Oh.
And, said that Eddie Van Halen looked bored. I guess he didn't appreciate Michael Anthony's bass solo, where I guess he started by throwing one. He played two basses. He threw one across the stage, and he rolled around on the floor with the other one or something.
Oh.
And he said that Roth didn't hit anything. It was just like a, it was like he was just throwing up on the audience.
That's nice.
And, so
interesting.
And I have to tell you, there's a lot of Van Halen footage that you can find on YouTube with David Lee Roth, and very little of it I think sounds any good.
Yeah.
I think that most of it's pretty man, that's rough.
I've only seen Van Halen with him.
Sammy Hagar, it crushes. There's was it Live Without a Net? Or
Oh,
whatever?
my God, yeah.
That was a VHS tape.
Yeah.
And it was really fucking good.
Yeah. And I have the live video they did after that, the live DVD. I can't remember what it was, but it's good too. And it's, granted, I'm sure there's editing and whatnot, but you can tell they're really playing because you can hear little mistakes here and there, but it's still really good. So, Dave.
Oh,
So let's go ahead. We'll start with Lily. Who do you want to start with?
I'm going to expand on my Motley Crue thing.
Okay.
The Crew.
So as I said earlier, so if you don't know who the Crew are, shame on you, but American heavy metal band formed in Hollywood, California in the best year ever, 1981.
Oh my God.
Nikki Sixx, Vince Neil, Mick Mars, and Tommy Lee. Super popular band. They had Dr. Feelgood, which was their only studio album to reach #1, but they had 22 top 40 mainstream rock hits and 6 top 20 pop singles. I have been to at least 10 Motley Crue shows, and up until their quote-unquote final tour, which was in 2015, they sounded pretty great. I actually didn't know much about them until I saw them for the first time, and I believe it was with Aerosmith. Fell in love with them immediately. They sounded awesome. Vince was not doing that back-and-forth microphone thing. He's just no longer able to hit the notes. And what's sad is these songs were rewritten specifically for his vocal range.
Right.
So he can't even do that anymore with that. So obviously Nicky's not going to rewrite them again because people know them now. Like I said, he has the crowd do most of the singing anymore. And I don't even know, we can barely understand him. We're making up what he's saying. And at the same time, I've seen his solo shows, and he doesn't sound bad at the solo shows. So is he just being shitty because he's with Motley Crue on these dates? I don't know. Or does he just have a shitty voice? I can't tell.
Oh, interesting.
Because I've seen him solo and I've seen him with Motley Crue.
I've never heard anybody talk about that before. That's interesting.
And also, another thing now, I'm kind of skeptical to even see them tour anymore because they got rid of the talent in the band, Mick Mars, and they brought in John 5. Not that John 5 is anyone to sneeze at, but I don't like their sound now. They're not Motley Crue to me.
That song that they came out with is a decent song, but that was the thing everybody said. It doesn't really sound like Motley Crue. Yeah. Well, which some people said, well, is that sort of like how much of an influence Mick Mars really was.
Maybe, yeah.
I think so.
Exactly.
I think so.
How much was he really? He might have been contributing way more than you realize.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, I've seen them like probably every show for the last 10 years or so in the Pittsburgh area. Stadium tour just made me want to cry. They sounded terrible. I don't want to pay that amount of money to sing the songs myself because I am even worse than Vince Neil.
Well, that's okay. They'll just they'll mime them.
Right.
Yeah, why
They'll
not?
sound perfect.
I just couldn't bear to hear it anymore, so me and my friend left and went to a bar to enjoy country music, sad,
know.
and really expensive cocktails.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my God! My God!
My God!
Do you have anything you'd like to discuss, Mr.
This just popped into my head. There is that's the Bon Jovi fella. That Bon Jovi fella, yeah.
Poor Bon.
And I only say that because I've seen videos of their recent outings, and I'm like, ooh. Now, granted, yeah, he's older, and was he dealing with some vocal issues? I believe.
I think he was.
Yeah. So I don't know if he's gotten any better, but there was when they came out there recently, it just wasn't good there, you know. But I have seen them in the past. I saw them on the Slippery When Wet tour. I think I literally came to Pittsburgh like 5 times that year on that tour.
Nice.
I'm not kidding you. They were at the Civic Arena like 5. Hey, hey everybody, welcome to the radio. They're this weekend Bon Jovi's playing with 38 Special. You know, every couple of weeks they were back.
You could tell the people in Pittsburgh liked them.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Absolutely.
So they just kept coming back. They were really good. I think that's the only time I saw them back in the 80s. But yeah, just sad. And it hurts my soul when I see, you know, our heroes getting up there, not quite being able to do what they used to do. Yeah. And that's a time where it's like, you know what? Perhaps you should
quit.
Simmer down now.
You know, well, that's tough because they don't want to stop playing, and they don't want to be out the paycheck either. And you have to say at least this, like, at least they're performing live.
Right. You know they're live because, well, yeah, it's not good, but they're at least trying.
This next band is a kind of enigma when it comes to this sort of thing, and that's Guns N' Roses.
Oh my!
American hard rock band formed in Los Angeles in 1985. Merger between the bands LA Guns and Hollywood Rose when they signed to Geffen Records in 86. The band's classic lineup consisted of Axl Rose, Slash, Izzy Stradlin, Duff McKagan, and Steven Adler. The current lineup has Rose, Slash, McKagan, Richard Forrest, and Frank Ferrer, Dizzy Reed, and Melissa Reese. They started out in the West Coast club circuit and cracked the radio with 1987's Appetite for Destruction, and then sort of like the rest was history. But they had issues even early on. There was a thing that happened, I can't remember what it was, I believe it was in Canada, where that was when James Hetfield burnt his arm.
Okay, yeah.
It was supposed to be Guns N' Roses and Metallica and Crew or something. No, I'm just kidding. It was Metallica and Guns N' Roses, and Metallica played first, and they had this problem. They had to stop because James had to be rushed off
to
the hospital. And then Axl Rose comes out and proceeds to just complain about the monitors the whole time. And he has a really shitty attitude. And almost as if like he's pissed that like James Hetfield stood him up because he caught on fire. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Well,
and like I think they played like Paradise City, and Axl told everybody to go fuck yourself and left. And like there was like people got trampled. It turned into a big scene. It was awful. It turned into like a whole problem. And you would think like those two bands, what a show, right? Metallica and Guns N' Roses,
I know,
right?
Like at that time, it would have been like that'd have been fucking epic. Well, you took your life in your hands with that thing. It was crazy. So that's relatively early on, and then moving forward with them. Vocal inconsistencies, but more like just attitude inconsistencies. They just could not get along. I had this experience with them about 10 years ago or so, maybe even a little bit longer. running into a cell phone footage of them on YouTube. And I thought Axl Rose just sounded like Axl Rose. I mean, it was like cell phone footage. And this was really before, this is way before like people were auto-tuning live or anything like that. And I thought he sounded okay. And then I told that story all the time. And then I saw other videos where he didn't sound okay. So, it's kind of inconsistent with it. And in a 2012 concert in Liverpool, there was all kind of problems because they started very, very late, and so fans were getting pissed off. And then he came out and he couldn't sing right, and so just like it was a total shit show. Back then, man, people expected a fucking show.
Sure.
You know what I mean? They weren't like they expected you to be able to like sound good. They didn't go for that.
No.
It just was not. No. It just was not like But as time was in this century, it gets,
It doesn't seem as important.
Well, it doesn't seem as important because nobody's singing. I mean, the Eagles aren't even singing.
Right.
Nah.
Sing. I got a track.
Come on. Simmer down. So what do you got, Lily?
I'm all about the live show. It's got to sound good.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard Eddie Trunk talk about this many times. It's like rock and roll is kind of a live thing. Like, if you can't do it live, what are you doing?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Puddle of Mud is on my
yes,
list.
Sure.
American post-grunge band formed in Kansas City, Missouri in 1991. They have sold over 7 million albums.
7 million albums.
Their major label debut, Come Clean, has sold over 5 million copies. I did. And I'll probably say it again.
Nice.
No.
Vocalist and guitarist Wes Scantlin has served as the only consistent member throughout the band's history, and maybe they should have changed because he seems to be the problem in the band.
No.
My.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
I've never seen this band, but this is stuff I've read. Their live music is often ruined because of Scantlin's antics or the band's terrible lack of practice. He has an arrest record a mile long. They often get booed off stage because they sound so terrible. They don't rehearse. They don't get together and do these things because Scantlin is kind of a jerk. Since 2012, Scantlin has been accused of numerous occasions of lip syncing during live performances.
What?
He had an onstage meltdown during a show at Trees, Dallas, in which he threw a microphone and a beer into the audience, as well as threatening an attempt to physically attack members of the audience.
Oh, my.
The band was booed off stage at a show in Ohio after Scantlin was spotted lip syncing to the songs. And
he was lip syncing to something on the jukebox in the bar next door. He wasn't even.
Yeah, right. That's how
that.
bad it was.
What is this one? They had to cancel performance by the band in 2017 from a Thetford Mines festival after Scantlin nor the rest of the band appeared at Quebec City International Airport, where the volunteers were to pick them up, drive them to the festival. No reason was given for the band's absence. So, to those who have seen Puddle of Mud, I'm very sorry because apparently you don't always get a great experience with them because of their antics. Oh, Scantlin's antics, apparently.
That's a shame.
That's, I did not know that about them. I don't really think about that band.
Often enough.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, they have like 2 songs that I kind of remember if they come on the radio, but I'm not super familiar.
I've never seen them to experience them.
So, there you go.
There that is.
A band that, this isn't exactly the same thing, but a band that I saw multiple times live, and I had performances of theirs that I liked. They were varied. Like each time I saw them, they did sound a bit different because they would bring different musicians in and out, and it was a band called the North Mississippi All-Stars.
Okay.
And I saw them like 5 times.
Yes.
And every time, they would have
different people in the band.
Sometimes there were different people. But sometimes one of the things they did was when I first heard them, they were a trio. And it was definitely a certain thing. The way they played off of each other as a trio was like really
exactly,
good.
Yeah.
And then when I saw them the next time, they had a second guitar player.
Dwayne.
And they sounded good, but it wasn't the same. It was like a different kind of vibe.
You got a different experience.
Yeah, and then when I saw them the third time, I was really disappointed because they have this bass player, Chris Chu, who's really, really sick. He's a really badass bass player. And he wasn't with them. They had somebody else playing bass, and they were 4-piece. And they didn't sound bad. But
there was something missing.
Yeah, it wasn't the same without Chris. And then I saw him again, and they had Chris Chu came back, and But again, they've never went back. I love that when the first time I
three
saw them, they were
piece.
3
They were all so tight. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really neat show.
Played off each other.
That isn't really something you can. And they didn't sound bad any of those times.
Yeah.
It was just what I preferred. If do you like to see people getting fistfights on stage?
Yes.
Because Jane's Addiction, they're like newcomers to this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oasis often delivered powerful shows, but their 2000 Japan concert is infamous lackluster performance, partially due to sibling tensions between Noel and Liam Gallagher. Yeah, those guys will get into fights on stage, walk off. There are people that went to see Oasis and did not even realize that Liam wasn't there. Noel sang
Right.
Yeah.
the whole
right.
thing, and
They should know because they're not fighting.
yeah, they were not fighting. And don't get me wrong, Liam has a cool voice. Noel can sing though. That Oasis material isn't that, crazy. You know what I mean? It's not like singing Journey
Right.
with all kind of high. You have to have somebody
Yeah.
who can sound like Steve Perry to sing
Make
Journey.
that work.
Right. Oasis.
You're not going to get Michael McDonald to sing Journey.
That'd be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Michael
That'd
McDonald
be
should
something.
front Journey. Yeah.
I'll make a
Michael
phone call.
McDonald should.
Text him.
Yeah.
Ronald McDonald should front Oasis.
Happy meals for everyone.
Noise.
Now, I think that Michael McDonald should come on stage dressed as Ronald McDonald and sing all the Doobie Brothers songs.
You are an idea man.
Stop.
You are an idea.
Right here, I thought of it first.
Wow.
Now someone's going
What's
to
the
trademark
band?
it.
Max Sabbath. That's their names.
Max
Oh, I
Sabbath.
love them.
Yes,
They're
right.
so much fun.
But you hate clowns.
It's not the same kind of clown.
Yeah, they're friendly clowns.
Yeah, that's a food clown.
I'm Ronald the friendly clown.
He doesn't even look like a normal clown, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Of course
He
he's a
looks
clown.
just like a fucking clown. What the fuck are you talking about?
No,
not a
he does
scary-
not look like one of the
He's not a
clowns at the
scary
fucking
clown.
circus. Okay, he looks like an idiot in a yellow jumpsuit.
Looks like
But
a
his
fucking clown in
McNuggets are
circus to
so
me.
tasty.
No, he does not.
It's just because you like to eat McDonald's.
I fucking hate McDonald's. I only go during Boo Bucket season.
What?
Boo
Suck
buckets.
it? What?
Boo Bucket
What?
season.
Boo suck it? Beat what?
Or that.
Suck it.
Halloween time so I can collect the buckets. Get away from me.
Okay.
Boo bucket.
Yeah,
Oh, I get it now.
Yeah,
Boo
now
bucket.
Boo Bucket. Get it?
Boo Bucket season.
Where's the show?
So out of the three, which one was your favorite? Out of
What?
Cocoa Puffs,
Uh-huh.
Boo Berry,
No, Count
or
Chocula.
Count Chocula?
Count Chocula, Frankenberry, and Boo Berry. It's Count Chocula all the way.
Yeah, every day. All
Count
day.
Chocula.
I can't believe I didn't stock up this year.
Shame on you.
What is wrong with me? And I saw
And
it
it's
in
gonna
the
be Civil
store.
War. I
You know
mean, you
why?
should get it.
You know why? Because I don't grocery shop anymore where I work. If there's leftovers, I just bring it home. So I haven't had to grocery shop in like a month.
So you haven't even seen it in the store.
Oh, damn it.
I
Shame
tell you
on
what, to keep doing that, and you could be able to buy like a fucking Les Paul
Yes.
in a couple months.
I bet you.
Priorities.
Cost of food?
Yeah. Cars breaking
That's
down. Who
not
gives a shit?
wrong.
Look at this Les Paul I have.
That's a musician has to have priorities.
I know, bro.
Yeah, I got to say Count Chocula too.
Yeah.
Frankenberry, and what was the other one?
Boo Berry.
Boo Berry.
Berry. Nah.
Nah.
No, they were all just
They're-
riding on Count Chocula's fucking coattails. Seriously, Count Chocula. was the
Just
shit.
Cocoa
That's where it's at.
Cocoa
Oh,
Tales?
I want to tell you guys.
Yes, tell us.
So, I don't know what happened last week. I was at the
Neither do we.
store,
Oh, boy.
and I'm like, I can't. This is going to be a complete fucking contradiction. But I'm going to say it
Okay.
anyways. I just got sick of Jif peanut butter. I'm Jiffed out. I cannot
What?
do Jif peanut butter. It's like
Really?
all of a sudden it started to taste funky, like too much Jif, you know.
Oh.
So I'm like, I need a new peanut butter, and so somebody recommended this organic stuff, and I had that in my hand,
Yeah.
and then I saw
What'd you see?
Goober grape.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, oh my god, I haven't had Goober grape
Yeah.
in like.
What's eating Goober grape?
I know. Who's eating Goober
So
grape?
you did buy a nut butter.
So I bought Goober grape,
Yeah.
and
Was it everything you thought it would
I
be?
had some on some saltine crackers over the weekend.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's not great.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
okay.
I know.
It's kids' food.
I can't
Yeah.
eat that.
It's kids' food. It's not really something. So I kind of feel like a kind of a weirdo eating it. You know, and there's a guy in my 50s.
I know. Yeah.
Now I feel like I should have
However,
been ashamed.
eating Count Chocula is not a problem. Yeah.
I should have been ashamed to go to the counter with that. You
Uh-huh.
know, like,
Well, how about just ordering a Happy Meal for a boo bucket at 42?
There you go. It's for my niece.
Don't eat. No, I said it's for me.
It's for me, and I'm proud.
I want the damn bucket. I collected them all. Like, okay.
so that's what started this. You said Boo Bucket, and I thought
you-
Boo Berry. Then I went to
Yeah.
Yep, see how your
Frankenberry,
brain
then I went
works?
to then Count Chocula,
There you
then
go.
Goober Grape.
and Goober Grape.
Goober grape. Wow.
Don't be a goober. Grape. But yeah, so Goober Grape. So anyway, so let's move on. We just talked about Oasis.
Yes, yes.
Lily,
Oh,
say
it's my
something.
turn. How about Sebastian Bach?
How about
Do we know him? Do we all know that guy?
Sab.
Yeah, Canadian-American singer who achieved mainstream success as the frontman of the hard rock band Skid Row. He's acted on Broadway. He's
Do you
made
know there's
appearances in
another
film
Skid
and
Row?
television.
Yes.
Did you know this, Lily, real quick? Did you know this? There was a Skid Row before Skid Row. There was
Yes.
a 70s,
I actually did know that.
70s
yes,
band
yes,
that's where Thin Lizzy came
Thin Lizzy
Yes.
came from. Yep.
Continue.
Okay.
He's made appearances in film and television, such as The Trailer Park Boys, The Masked Singer, and Gilmore Girls. He continues his music career as a solo artist. So this guy has a tendency to be triggered by silly little things and have rants in the middle of his shows. He gets mad when people want to take his photo while he's performing. I've actually witnessed this firsthand. When we were at Altar Bar, he was yelling at the photographer in the middle of the show because she was a professional photographer too.
Oh,
not
she
just
was
not just a
there with
rando.
cell phone. Yeah.
He got mad at her, yelled at her, and he also was triggered by someone in the crowd wearing a Skid Row 2.0 T-shirt. That
Oh.
wasn't him. It was post
Right.
Sebastian Bach. He went on a whole rant about that.
Oh my god.
He's generally just one of those people who likes to pick fights and interrupt shows anyway. Now, he does sound good probably about 98% of the time. I've seen him several times.
Okay.
Still sounds great. But he will stop a show to bitch about something probably like 4 out of 6 times.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Simmer
What
down.
a fucking
now.
crybaby.
You never know what version of Sebastian you're going to
You're
get
gonna
at a
get.
show.
Yeah.
But when you do get the good version, it sounds great.
Wow.
And he does usually sing extra songs too, not just what they say
Okay.
he's gonna
All
sing.
right.
So that's always
Extra
fun.
songs?
Yeah, so he was supposed to just do their last time I saw him, just the one album, and he added songs onto that.
Oh, okay.
So that there was time left. He sang extra stuff. It was nice. He didn't just jump off the stage.
Okay. Cool.
So that was cool.
was a
But
good
he
night.
likes to rant
Yeah.
about stupid shit because he likes to fight, and he's Canadian. Aren't they supposed to be like
Yeah,
friendly
supposed to
all
be nice
the
and
time?
calm and.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, don't you know?
Yeah.
Oh,
Good
sure,
day,
you know.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
sure. So sorry. Sorry about that. Wow.
How come he's not wearing a toque?
He's not from the Great White North, eh?
So, Sebastian.
Bach.
Back.
So I read a thing or heard a thing with something about him. I heard
Yes.
a thing, read a thing about something. I heard a thing.
I like that.
So, yeah, the guy was saying that he was he was the singer for the opening act or something. And like they were done and they were standing at the bar.
Uh-huh.
And he said that Sebastian Bach, they come on and Sebastian Bach just starts like trying to pick a fight with him.
Yeah, it's just what he
Yeah.
does. It's like his thing.
Like, you know, he's like, I'm just standing
Can't
at
we
the
all
bar,
just
like
get
trying to enjoy the
along?
show. Like, we were appreciative that we got to open. He says, now this guy wants to kick my ass
Yeah.
for some reason. It's like, what the fuck did I do?
He's super aggressive.
Wow, man.
That's crazy. What's wrong with Pete?
Sebastian.
Is there any other band you would like to discuss, Mr. Pittsburgh? or
No,
should
no.
we
Let's
move
go
to
on with
Kiss?
let's go on to the Kiss.
Kiss has occasionally been criticized
Oh.
for vocals that don't hold up, such as Paul Stanley's performances in recent years due to vocal
Yeah.
strain, like Robert Kennedy in his voice box.
Wow.
Shout it out loud. Shout it out loud.
Try rock steady.
Can't with you people. Ridiculous.
Grant Stain.
Stutter.
oh, Lord.
I think I heard, I can't remember who it was. It was Adam Carolla went on a rant about all these songs that kind of glorify underage naughtiness.
Yes.
But
Wow.
anyways, this is a band, if you don't know, formed in 1973 in New York City. Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, Ace Frehley, and Peter Criss. Known for their face paint and stage outfits. They rose to massive prominence in the mid-'70s, where the shock rock style live performances was featured fire-breathing, blood-spitting, smoking guitars, shooting rockets, levitating drum kits, and pyrotechnics.
Yeah.
Boobs everywhere.
And giant boobies.
And what? Boobies.
Boobs everywhere.
Hooray for boobs.
Went through various lineup changes. Stanley and Simmons. Simon says remained the only consistent members. The final lineup consisted of Tommy Thayer and Eric Singer.
Yeah.
So there's some kind of this is a whole thing with Kiss.
Yeah.
Because they took offense at Motley Crue, saying that some of Motley Crue's vocals were being pre-recorded. And I think at the time, it was like background vocals and stuff. I don't even think that it is, because this started a long time ago.
Yeah.
And then they got Kiss like completely pantomiming.
Yep.
Oh, yes.
And then didn't they make a big deal out of like they were going to do the next tour? They promised they wouldn't pantomime, but then they didn't sound good.
Yeah.
Yes. Correct.
Yep.
They do not sound great.
Like, well,
Still
how'd
a
that
fun
work?
show.
How'd that work out for you? Yeah.
Well, see, they've been immortalized now into the virtual characters, right? So generations from now on will remember them in their idealized state.
Yes.
The whole thing is very bizarre because this is the only time in history where you could really preserve everything because of video and like really good video.
Yeah.
Super like high definition shit will last for fucking ever. Like you can pull up right now. We could go to YouTube and we could see the Beatles, Queen, Led Zeppelin, Rush, Motley Crue, Van Halen, all in their prime. Perfect.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's preserved forever. It's like it's just bizarre, because all through human history, you just got old and you died. You know what I mean? Like, and if you had some shit people remembered you by, it was usually shit that was written down.
Yeah.
Now your whole likeness and your mannerisms and your jokes and your hairstyle and everything is completely preserved. It's very weird.
It is very strange.
It's morbid or something. It's
morbider.
unnatural.
It's more morbider.
Well, it is 2024. Nothing seems natural anymore.
No.
Yeah. So I just don't go for the miming.
No, sir.
No.
But
And if you can't do it, then maybe don't do
Then
it.
just stop. Please.
Yeah.
right, there are some people that are still able to pull things off, and still like you were talking about Sebastian Bach when he kind of tries. He can.
Yeah, he can.
And I've heard that what's his name? Glenn Hughes. For the most part, still sounds really good for a guy. He was in his 70s. But the type of singing and the type of lifestyles these guys lived.
Yeah, it's a miracle
No.
they're still alive.
Right, exactly.
There's those people that get older and they tend to like look great and sound great for a really long time, but sooner or later, I mean, I wanted circling back. I wanted to mention this when I was talking about Guns N' Roses. This is a thing that kind of is a question mark to me about Axl Rose. Did you ever see any of the footage where he sang for AC/DC?
I have not.
He sounds great.
Yeah, I remember
He
that.
sounded really good.
Yeah, he sounded really good.
And he doesn't he treated the gig like a serious gig. Like he hired to play, and he put on a show. He sang. He didn't fuck around with the songs. He sang them the way they were supposed to sound.
Right.
I was like,
Yeah, because I'm like, oh, what's this going to sound like? And then I saw the videos, and I'm like, oh,
it sounded really good. In fact, I thought they might do an album with him.
yeah,
Maybe they wouldn't replace Brian Johnson, but I thought I could see them at least putting a song
right,
out or something
Right.
with him.
Yeah, he wasn't bad. Wasn't bad at all.
So I think too, singing is really, really physical.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe some of these guys might be able to do, like you were talking about, hearing Vince Neil sing acoustic, and it kind of makes me wonder if he's just not killing himself with the band. Like he's got to put on a show, he's got to run around. I bet when you saw him acoustic, when he's playing acoustic guitar, kind of sitting down or standing still or whatever. Yeah. So he could probably just relax.
Also, I wonder if he just enjoys it better because the other guys aren't around hounding him. Because I know him and Nikki don't get along.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he's more relaxed.
That was the thing that when the police broke up, all three of them said we were not friends.
Right.
We were just. In fact, Andy and Sting were nearly got violent with each other. Stuart Copeland said he had to break up a couple fights.
Yeah.
Wow.
Between the two of them, and it was like coming to blows. So not all bands are just like, hey,
they're not all chummy.
Yeah, exactly. Not every band is Rush or the Foo Fighters or some of these bands do. Some of these bands
they're friends. They hang out
family.
afterward. Yeah, exactly.
Co-workers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Too many egos in one room.
Yes.
But that gets. Speaking of that, did you know the band As I Lay Dying?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I heard today that the singer fired everybody.
Yeah.
Or they all quit.
Yeah, something like that. I heard that.
Fire me,
you can't fire me. I quit.
You can't quit.
Right.
I fire you.
Yeah.
I heard that yesterday. Actually, I'm like, what is going on?
And I was told, and I was heard that this is not the first time it's happened with this band. That a few years ago, everybody was completely. It was like Logan's Run, renew.
Yeah.
Actually, I know some Pittsburgh bands who do that, but we're not going to mention names.
Okay.
And so if somebody said to you, Lily, you have to name. Tell me where you're from by naming 3 bands. What would you say?
I hate when you do stuff like this because you have to make me think.
Don't think. I want your reaction.
Common Crown, Royal Honey, and Blood Union.
Who?
Blood Union.
Okay. Who would you say, Miss Pittsburgh, Kevin?
Well, we had mentioned them earlier. Bon Jovi, because they're really big here.
Bon Jovi's not from Pittsburgh.
Oh, this has to be from Pittsburgh?
So I said, like, if somebody said, tell me where you're from.
By what you listen to.
By what bands, name 3 bands.
I thought by what you listen to.
Well, by tell me where you were from. Well,
right.
maybe I didn't think it was.
I only have to name one name, and you know who that is. That'd be Donny Ayers. It's all you guys say. That's all you guys say. As a matter of fact, you say Donny Ayers 3 times, people know exactly where you're from.
I said, it was a Facebook post, so I said, B.E. Taylor Group,
oh yeah,
the Clarks, and Donny Ayers.
There you go.
Want famous fans. I thought you just meant my favorite locals.
Rusted Root, okay?
Rusted Root, yeah. It says, hey, Rusted Root, people say,
Did I ever tell you I lived with Liz Berlin? Yeah.
Liz is nice.
I know.
like her a lot.
Yeah, she's very cool. That's right, everybody. I'm just going to leave the story
They
at
live
that.
down in Jack's, right? No, I'm just kidding.
No, they did not live in Jack's. They lived in East Liberty. She lived in East Liberty.
She lived at Jack's.
She lived at Jack's.
She lives at Jack's right now. You get out of Jack's?
Probably. There she is.
Did you ever play Jack's as a kid? I did. That was a girl's game. Did you play Jack's?
As a kid, I did not play at Jack's Bar. No.
There was like these
I didn't play
weird
Jack.
metal.
I know
like,
what you mean.
You know what Jacks are? And there was a ball.
Yeah.
How did you play Jack? You had to bounce the ball and see how many Jacks you could pick up,
Onesies,
right?
Is that what it was?
Threesies, foursies. Yes.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I remember my sister playing Jacks.
I
But like
don't
if boys
I
weren't
was
supposed to play
terrible at
Jacks.
Why? Why is that a girl's game?
It's a girl's game.
That doesn't make sense. Is hopscotch
I
also
was
a girl's game?
going to say, I was too busy playing hopscotch.
I was very progressive, and I wanted to play Jacks, but I was told I was not.
He identified as a Jack's player.
Or is it that your sister didn't want you to play with her jacks? Is
that could
why?
be. Could be. These are my toys.
Yeah.
Years later, I learned all about Jacks.
I don't even know what that means.
Neither do I. I'm just going
I know,
with
but we're
it.
just going
First
with
you
it.
jack, then you smack, then you whack.
Oh, here we go.
Smack, jack, and whack it all night.
Okay.
I can't.
Yes, you can, and you are doing it. Don't even say you can't when you're actually sitting here in the fucking lion's den.
Lion's
I
dung?
am the
Lion's
lion.
dung.
The lion's
I
dung.
am
You're
the
in the...
lion.
I'm
The
the lion.
lioness. Go ahead.
The lion and the gazelle's here.
Oh, boy.
And then we're going to do nude and notable.
Alrighty. Anyway, my last one is Wasp. Heavy metal band formed in 1982.
Uh-huh.
The band's popularity peaked in the 80s. They continue to record and tour. They have shock rock themed images, lyrics, live performances. Sold over 12 million records worldwide, and their first 2 albums, Wasp and The Last Command, are certified gold. I have been to the latest show in Pittsburgh, which was 2 years ago. And they sounded what I thought to be pretty good, but maybe a little too good, because now
SpaghettiOs.
I will be seeing them on the 20th, and it's not because I really love Wasp, although I do really love Wasp. It is because I now need to see what I've been hearing all over the internet. Frontman Blackie Lawless has been honest about using backing tracks in his band's concerts. Still, questions have persisted, with some even suggesting that the group isn't performing live at all.
What?
It's a slippery slope. It's a slippery slope there, Mr. Pittsburgh.
I do have friends who are
slippery.
in a band called Images of Eden. They're not shy to talk about it, and their lawyers are allowing them to talk about it now, who were kicked off of their European tour because they caught them not performing live. It wasn't intentional. They just happened to have a camera around while they were watching the show, and Blackie Lawless lost his shit and had them kicked off the show and deported immediately from the country that they were in at the time.
Oh no! Don't deport
Now,
me,
my
Mr. Blackie.
My next issues are they can't even figure out who they want to open for this show coming up in Pittsburgh in 2 weeks. They've had, Death Angel was kicked off the show about 2 months ago. Unto Others was removed from the show about a month ago. And it still says they're touring with the band on everything. So now I think it's Armored Saints going to be touring with them again. But I don't even know. I don't even know if the show's going to happen. Who knows?
We
They might
don't
get
even
canceled.
know.
Maybe it just might be Arnold Saint.
Maybe it will be Arnold Saints. But I am actually checking.
Get to the chopper.
I knew this was going to happen. I am just going now. I love to watch live shows regardless, but I am now going just to watch so closely to see what's actually happening. So now that I don't drink as much, I'll be able to pay attention to that.
There you go.
Drink
See?
a little bit more.
I can't.
You can't. That's
That's the
negative. That's negative thinking.
Don't stop quitting.
It's a lack mentality.
I'll puke all over the table.
Oh, in that case.
When you said it was funny. I said Arnold Saint, and you thought Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know what I was thinking of?
Who?
I was thinking of Arnold the Pig from.
Jesus.
Bum, bum.
You went in the Wayback Machine.
I don't know why. I just thought of Arnold.
Arnold the Pig.
Arnold the Pig. All right, let's talk about nude and notable.
Yes.
Just real quick. My Chemical Romance is on the list.
Sure.
Stones
The Stones,
are. Rush.
I'm going to come right over there and punch you right in the throat.
I actually enjoy Rush Live.
You did not tell me your nude and
Oh,
notable.
You
yeah,
didn't
do
ask,
tell us.
But my nude and notable is Dream Theater's Night Terror. It was released last month. I'm not typically into progressive metal, but
They're good. They're good guys.
is a really good song. I like it. From Boston, Massachusetts.
Boston.
Boston.
Never heard of them.
Liar from home.
Boston.
But I do really enjoy their song Night Terror.
I think we should listen to Down with the Sickness again. Quite frankly.
Not that
No,
one. No, please.
sir. Please. All right, let's listen to Dream Theater. Check out this tune. Ooh. Hey.
It's a swinging little number.
Yeah, it is. Oh, listen, they chant.
Is there any singing in this?
If you want, I'll sing.
I don't recall singing in this. I was just so mesmerized by the guitars. Like something. This one actually kind of captivated me.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
Dream Theater Night Terror.
I have their Metropolis DVD, and it's the same thing. You just put it in and just
escape.
experience it. Yeah,
Yeah.
just experience it. Very
Sometimes
cool.
I'm into that.
Yeah, just kind of let go. Just let go,
Let
Lily.
go and let God.
Yes.
So, Mr. Pittsburgh, who's this bitch we're going to talk about here?
Hey. Never
Speak to me.
refer to chicks as bitches. Anyway. This one, I had another one lined up. We'll get to it next week. But I literally found her 20 minutes before I arrived. And I'm like,
Jesus.
oh, this is my new notable for today. Her name is Cami Kehoe. And the name of the song is Sorry. She's not Canadian. She's actually from
We
Las
don't
Vegas.
have any information on Cammy.
No. Just like she's from Las Vegas. That's all I know about her.
Las
Vegas.
Cammy Kehoe is available on YouTube.
Yeah. There you go. Cami Kehoe, Sorry.
Cammy Kehoe.
That's every song here.
I like her.
Hello.
Vocal.
Yes.
Cammy
yes.
Kehoe.
Yes.
Hello. Cammy Kehoe. So now for something completely different. This is
Oh.
the Feel Band.
Oh, they like to
What are
feel.
they
Oh,
feeling?
yeah, I've heard of them. All right.
Yeah. They were on TikTok just as Feel, but I think
Uh-huh.
it was like kind of hard to.
Yeah.
People would just like
It's like-
people. You try to search
My,
it.
my band's name is Live. Well,
Yeah.
good luck searching for
Right.
that.
Well, it was not so long ago when I was running for the door. Time ain't moving slow. I ain't wasting time no
Yeah, these guys are big Led Zeppelin fans. If you haven't figured that
No
out.
doubt.
I think this is a great band. I discovered them about, I don't know, maybe like earlier this year on TikTok. And they really hadn't done anything. They had like one original song, and they were doing some covers. They had some cover songs out. And but this was recorded and mixed and Smokestack, Nashville, Tennessee. So it's got that kind of like southern kind of feel as well.
I like it.
Yeah, the Feel Band, and you can find them again. Just YouTube the Feel Band. It does say that their EP is out now, so there's more than one track, so you can check it out. Lyrics. They got a few thumbs ups. They need more of those guys.
Yes,
So you have to
yes.
go and like give these guys more thumbs ups on the on YouTube, so people can find them and it'll show up in the algorithm. Yeah, the Feel Band.
I like them.
Interesting.
I
Yeah.
dig them.
Kind of get the sort of bluesy.
Oh, it's called In the Garden. No wonder.
In the Garden.
In the garden. That's where you'll find me. In the garden.
Oh.
The hose
boy.
up my poop hole.
Oh, why do you have to keep bringing that up?
I know you were traumatized today.
I know.
Mr. Pittsburgh was traumatized today because they looked up his poop hole.
They did, but
Did
they
they give you
like.
a rubber donut?
But they. No.
Oh.
They gave you a rubber biscuit.
Rubber biscuit.
Who did the rubber biscuit joke?
The Blues Brothers.
Blues Brothers.
Bow, bow, bow.
That's kind of like one of my biggest fears is having that procedure done.
Excuse me.
It's
Yeah.
literally nothing.
It
You
is
fall
nothing.
asleep, then you wake up, and they're like, "Here, we don't ginger ale." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah, I got
That's it.
Gatorade.
Oh.
Nice.
I mean, when I went to have it done last year, they were like, we were in the, okay, so they wheeled me into the operating room, and they're blasting PYT by Michael Jackson. That's
great.
And like the girls are all joking around, everybody's laughing, and I was like, oh my god, I roller skated to this song. And the next thing I knew, I woke up and there was completely different people around me.
And they gave you some propofol, and you were Michael Jackson.
They were like, here's the ginger ale.
Yeah.
I don't know, for some reason, I don't like any procedure, so this is just...
that's true.
It's just but that aesthetic is so weird.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you literally, like, it's like missing time. These people talk about UFOs, missing time. That's exactly what it's like. It's like,
but it was funny because
what the fuck?
This time around, I knew what to expect, so I was waiting for it. They're like, okay, we're going to start the medication. I'm like, come on. And I'm like, looking at the nurse. I'm like, why isn't this Mr. O'Connor? Oh!
That's crazy. Yeah. Well, the only other time I had that was when I had a wisdom tooth extracted. And so they're like, count back from 10. And I counted back till about 7. And then I said, so are we going to get started or what? They're like, you're done.
You're done, bro.
I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
It's the craziest
They just
experience.
numbed me for that and ripped it out.
Oh, man.
Yeah. It was impacted. They had like
so they had to go,
Yeah, it was a long recovery. It sucked.
Crazy.
I wish
I
they
remember
did
the first
that
time
for,
I
like-
tried to eat chicken wings after that. Oh my god.
Oh,
I was
that's the
gonna die.
worst.
Oh, no.
That's the worst.
That's my
Oh,
favorite.
no.
Chicken wings is my favorite meal.
You can eat more chicken wings.
So Lily, how do we find you on Rock Rage Radio?
You can get the app, which is free.
What?
Or
Nice.
Yeah, it's free. Or you could just go to rockrageradio.com
Okay,
and stream it.
you
You
can
can,
do that.
if you're old school and prefer to do it that way, you could do that way as well. I am on Thursday nights at 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Hot Licks with Lily 6. I do have an interview this week from Nectarus.
Ooh.
Who?
Nectarus.
Nectarus.
Yes, it's a fun band. You'll like them. I'm not going to give
Nectar
anything away.
Nectar ass. I
Wow.
hardly know her.
I
Plus
necked her
a whole-
ass last night.
Plus a whole bunch of new music from us on band. So check it out
Noise.
on Rock Rage Radio.
Noise.
Cool. And where are you going to be this weekend?
This weekend, Friday, I'll be at Iron Maiden. Which is super
Pump some
exciting.
iron.
And Saturday, I think I'm going to do a horror flea market over at the Crown Plaza in South Hills.
Oh, there you go.
So, yeah.
Noise.
You know, I think that this was a missed opportunity. I think that Iron City Beer should have sponsored Iron Maiden's tour.
Duh.
They should have,
Right?
obviously. I can't wait. I haven't seen Iron
my
Maiden
gosh.
forever.
Very cool.
I know. I missed them last time because I had to cover Zach
Who's in the
Sabbath.
band? Who's in the band now? Is it all the original guys? Except, I mean, I know Paul Diano, rest in peace. But
Right.
I mean,
yeah,
Bruce
Bruce.
Dickinson?
Bruce.
Okay.
Yes, my other.
Adrian Smith and
All the guys. Yeah.
what's the other guitar player's name?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I used to know the whole band. Nico Bain?
I
on
don't.
drums?
I want to say no to that actually.
I
But
don't-
Bruce is the
Steve,
most important one. for me.
Steve Harris, obviously. Steve Harris?
I believe so.
Oh.
Bruce is the most important. So those
Bruce.
Anyway, the
Bruce
last
is in the
time
band.
the last time Iron Maiden was in town, I missed the show because I was covering Zach Sabbath over at the Rex Theater. But then I had to race over to Star Lake right after that to cover Alice in Chains.
Oh, wow.
So I missed
Busy girl.
Iron
Alas in Chains.
Maiden. Alas.
Okay.
Nice.
All right, everybody. I was thinking about, are you available next week or not?
Probably.
Because I want to do the best and worst rock performances on Saturday Night Live.
Oh, that's going to be good.
And we
Yes,
can,
I'm available.
Okay, good. Because I would say each of us watched maybe 3 of them,
Yeah.
and like we'll talk
We'll
about
talk
them.
about
Pick,
'em.
don't just pick good ones.
Yeah.
Let's find we'll talk about.
I'll
some
find
shitty
some
ones too.
shitty ones. Yeah.
We'll talk about. So that's what we're gonna do. No, we'll
I like it.
We'll
Yeah,
do
and
that
my
next
next week is pretty bare. So.
Cool. Excellent. All right, guys. Loudini RockandRollCircus.com, RockRageRadio.com, music from the 412.com.
Yeah.
And guys, do not forget, go to Facebook, go to Rock Rage Radio Live, and you can hang out with us live. Now, we are recording this on Tuesday the 5th, which is election night, so I didn't really expect I invited some folks, but I didn't expect most
We
people
had
were
some
like
people.
looking at the trying to find out who's going to be, if we're going to get trumped or harassed.
I see what you did there.
Either way, I might move to Mexico.
Oh,
but
nice.
Mexico.
Oh, thank you.
No, Mr. Lily, you don't go to
No,
Mexico.
Mr. No,
Mr. Lily. you
No,
don't
thank you.
Make
No.
coconut bras.
Oh, in that case,
Tourists.
okay.
Mr. Lily, no. This lamp's no good, I take. Oh, no, you keep jumping, Mr. Lily. That's good. All right, thank you guys so much for hanging out. It was a lot of fun. Appreciate it, everybody. And we'll catch everyone on the next Loudini Rock and Roll Circus.
See ya.